First Catholic Cathedral in the United States is celebrating a milestone. On Monday, the Basilica of the Assumption in Baltimore will turn 200 years old. An anniversary mass will be celebrated that afternoon, along with many other festivities. Among the highlights of the Basilica's history was a visit from Pope John Paul II back in 1995. And joining us now is Father James Boric, pastor of the Basilica of the Assumption. Father James, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today. First off, I want to congratulate you on a milestone, incredible. And for those who may not know, what are some of the other highlights of the Basilica's history?
Well, the Basilica really is where Catholicism in the United States was started. So really a lot of the dioceses, a lot of all the early church decisions were founded here. All the bishops would meet for the plenary councils or the provincial councils, and this is where the catechism came from, the Baltimore Catechism. It's where Catholic University was conceived of and created. So much of what exists in our church today happened here at this cathedral, at this basilica.
And how are we celebrating the anniversary? We understand there's going to be a Eucharistic Adoration Chapel that will play a role. What else can you tell us?
Well, that's going to be the cornerstone of what we do. On Monday, Archbishop Lori will celebrate a solemn mass, which of course is kind of a blending of our dedication, the 200th anniversary of our dedication, but also the Marian feast day that we get to celebrate. So it's really a perfect day for us. And then as soon as the mass is done, we're going to go down into the new Undercroft Perpetual Adoration Chapel, and he's going to bless the tabernacle, which will hold the Blessed Sacrament. And then for the first time in Baltimore history, we will have perpetual adoration. And just to give you an idea, that's since 1789. So there's never been a chance or an opportunity for the people of Baltimore to come in front of our Eucharistic Lord, and that's going to change on Monday.
That's really incredible. So tell us, what made you decide on a Eucharistic Adoration Chapel as really, an appropriate celebration?
Well, I think one is just our Lord, in my own prayer, said very clearly, I want to be with the people of Baltimore. And this is a city which I'm sure you know has had a lot of trouble in the last decade. We are the second highest, per capita murder city in the country. There's been so much crime and violence and corruption. And so our Lord wants to be with his people. And, so inspired by what happened in Ciudad Juarez in Mexico, when they started perpetual adoration in what was probably one of the most dangerous cities in the world, and the results there. And I know that God has a lot of things he wants to do in this city, and he wants to bring a lot of people to himself. And he just wants to be available to love his people.
Yeah, and how do you think that's going to impact the people of Baltimore? What do you hope comes from that?
Well, ultimately, we want souls, right? We want people to know that God is not forgotten, that he's not forgotten them, that he is here, Emmanuel. God is with us. The Eucharist is Jesus Christ. The Eucharist is God, and that we can come to him anytime. And so he's going to change hearts, and that's what has to happen. He needs to change. He's going to change our hearts. And then once our hearts are changed, there's going to be a spillover effect in the rest of the city. And that'll impact families. That'll impact marriages, vocations. And then, you're going to start to see less violence, less murders. And, it's going to be a ripple effect.
Yeah, certainly. Before I let you go, Father, what are you looking most forward to?
I cannot wait to have our first adorers in there that first hour. I mean, that's all the rest of the year, we'll have big events and all those things, but nothing is going to even come close to finally having the Archbishop bless this chapel and then expose the Blessed Sacrament for the first time, and to know that at all times now we will have somebody with our Lord, and our Lord will be able to do whatever he wants. And there's nothing more that I want.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Father James Boric, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and God bless you.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it too. God bless you.